Okey-dokey. Welcome. We are live, and today we got Ancient Historia. Luke has decided to quit being a wanker and get off his ass and actually do some research since he's been on vacation, moaning and groaning. I've heard him bitching and whining all the way across the damn pond for weeks now, and I think he's better now.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Luke.
I've been to the famous city of Hospitalia,
Oh man, hold on! I gotta mute my thing. There we go.
Oh, I am hearing echo now. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I had to. I thought I had it muted.
But yeah, no. Well, I guess you missed my video, but
yeah,
I
was getting ready to watch it, and then you're like, "Do you want to go live?" So I had.
Well, you know how it is. But yeah, no. I had to rebuild a computer, which I did. Eventually, yeah. So I got that built. Then I had nose surgery. Then that got infected, and I was really unwell. And then, literally, as soon as I was okay, I was like, "I'm going to make a video today." And then I got food poisoning. It was literally just like bang, instantaneous. So God didn't want me to make a video until today, when He allowed it. So that's where we're at.
You know that audio sounds weird now. Your audio.
My audio sounds weird now.
Yeah, it sounds gargled. What do y'all think in the chat? There's Bernie. Bernie, answer the question I sent you, please.
Wait, what do you mean? Wait, is it right now? What do you mean gargled?
It sounds.
I'm confused.
It sounds like it's I don't know, like it's gargled, kind of like you're muffled.
But
I can hear myself. I can hear myself through your system now.
Oh wow! Okay, right. You told me that you couldn't, so we'll try it.
Well, I couldn't hear it. Now I can hear it. I can hear myself talking through your system.
Yeah,
we were trying to work this out before.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I just got home from work, and Luke was, "Let's go live. I want to go live." So we don't have our act together. Let's see. How you doing? I see Bernie's lurking.
What about that?
Bernie, I sent you a question. I'm trying to find an answer to my question. Answer the question. I know you're the sciencey person around, so I got a sciencey question.
Does that sound better?
Hey, say it again. Go.
Yeah. Does that sound better? Or is that?
I think that sounds better. Yeah.
Okay.
What do y'all think?
Well, you keep going with that. I can hear my own voice now for some reason.
Kim Jones said it was muffled. Yeah, there was something. I don't know. We were playing with it before the show. Hey, Sherry Eyes. Yeah. Hey, Disciple of Messiah. Hello, Morning Glory. I'm looking at Chatsies here. Splendid Graffiti. Woo, Sherry Eyes. How y'all doing? So anyways, so tell me about your video. I didn't get to watch it. I sat down to watch it, and then I had to.
It wasn't very special, to be honest. It was just going through some articles that had Tartaria appearing. So that's all we did.
Old articles.
Okay,
all I saw was headline Tartaria was in the news. I'm like, really? And I'm like, I thought
that's no, it's Tartaria in the news. So it's the name of the playlist now. So we're just looking at Tartaria in the news. So yeah,
I got you. I got you.
I don't know what? I can hear my own voice, so I kind of want to do this. Like, the alpha male has positioned himself at the front of the pack. Wow, that's impressive, isn't it? That is really. I never get to hear this, Wow,
that is hilarious, man. I don't know. I wanted to ask Bernie this questions. Look here. I was talking to Paul Cook about this today, and we were both kind of stumped on this. This is how my mind works, y'all. This is what I was thinking about all day, and I went to Paul Cook because Paul's a plumber, or he used to be a plumber. He's still a plumber, but I mean he knows plumbing. So I asked him about this because he would know a little more than most people. But I also wanted to ask Bernie, who slept all day and didn't answer my question. So maybe Bernie will answer my question now. Okay, look, the other day Campbell I don't remember the guy's name. A guy was on his stream. He was talking about gardening. But he mentioned something near the end of the live stream. He was saying that it was either, he said, lead or iron, and I can't remember which he said, was the only element that would block mercury, that wouldn't let mercury disintegrated or leach out or something like that. Like it was the only material that could contain mercury. Does that make sense? And then I don't know if he said lead or iron, but that's the question I had for Bernie. I wanted to know which was it? Was it lead or iron? And then the question leads to, will a lead pipe, which isn't all lead, it's lead and iron from my understanding, or lead and steel, I'm not sure, but a lead pipe, what are known as, we call them lead pipes in plumbing. Okay, and me and Paul were talking about this because all old houses and old buildings, when they originally came up with the quote unquote came up with the plumbing systems, they used lead pipes, what are called lead pipes. Now they're made of different materials, but they stopped using them because they had lead in them, and lead is bad for us, and they realized that. And it's always sat weird with me that lead, that they didn't, how did they not know that lead was bad, and why did they make lead pipes, and then how did they get all this lead pipe into these houses and into these buildings and never figure it out until later? I mean, it's in everything. Okay, so then I'm thinking today, wait a minute, what if? Okay, now that I'm spitballing here, I'm what ifing. Okay, this is what I was thinking about today, and me and Paul were going back and forth talking about this today. What if lead pipes are old world, and what if they weren't used for water, but they were used to pipe the mercury into the buildings and up into the antennas, and it was a way to move the mercury around? And what if when we came in, we drained all the mercury out and then redid the pipe work to add plumbing for water, and then we used it for water, and then because we're dumbasses, we realized, oh, whoops, lead's bad for us, and we changed it to copper, which is what we went to next. And I was asking Paul about this, and Paul's like, "Oh my God, that's actually interesting." And then we start talking about, well, what if how would you? There's no return because water goes in. Okay, there's no into the building and out of the building. And I'm thinking, well, what if they didn't need an output? What if the mercury, once you pumped it up, say into the building, that you collected the etheric energy up in the antenna, and then because that mercury is gathering that etheric energy transferred through the mercury back down the system, and it was like a pressurized mercury system, and maybe that energy flowed back on its own without a return pipe. This is just what we were talking about today, and we might be completely full of shit. I don't know. What do you think, Luke? You're the smart man on campus today.
Oh, sorry, I was just rolling a spliff.
Yes.
I didn't realize it. I didn't think you wanted input. I thought that, you're talking about Paul Cook. You know, maybe you should have asked him on your show.
He's busy.
Is he? Oh, is that why I'm here? Is Paul not awake at this hour?
I don't know where he is.
The only Brit you could get.
Well, gotta have.
That's why I drink, isn't it? You know, I'm the B list. You know, we couldn't get the professional. So instead, here's a guy that will talk.
I just picked up some Wanker.
That's why I'm here.
See, don't be Wanker.
That's why I'm here.
Well, it's good that you're feeling better. That you took a pretty good hit there.
Yeah, no, it was. Well, the thing is, it was. It never was supposed to be such a long break because obviously my laptop gave in, and I couldn't make videos on it anymore. It was getting to the point where I was going to give it a Viking funeral. Like, I'm not kidding. I was that level of anger where I was thinking I'm going to buy a boat, a fucking bow and arrow. I'm going to learn to shoot a bow and arrow, and then I'm going to fucking set fire to it on a river. But fortunately, I did build a new computer before I completely lost my mind, and we built that, and I was very excited to unveil it to you all. And then obviously I had to get the nose surgery, which meant I couldn't talk or, well, breathe. And then the infection, and then the food poisoning. But now I'm here. So, yeah.
So wait, it started with how did it start again?
With a broken computer.
No, after that. How did you get sick? Like
a broken heart. Oh, right. No, after. Yeah, I got sick from the infection. So basically, obviously, my nose had surgery. And you know what's funny as well? Like, I actually told my doctor, I was like, it's infected. I can smell it. But the way the British NHS works is like they will give you free healthcare, but they'll make you wait for it. So they start with the questionnaire, you know, just like, and it starts off reasonable, does it hurt? Is it swollen? Can you breathe? And then it just gets into the ridiculous. It's like, have any of your family ever had cancer? Have any of your family ever been to the moon? Have any of your family ever been in a tribe? And you just like, you're sat there like, do you want honestly? He's infected, all right? Just he's infected. Give me antibiotics. And they're like, that's not how it works. So you're going to have to get through the questions. And it's like, I'm convinced the only reason they have these questions is because most of the people phoning are old, right? And they hope that the people will die before they get through the fucking question. Yes. And then, I bet what usually happens is they're there and like, have any of your family ever been in a tribe in Northern? They hear a thud and they're like, yeah, she died. Good job, everyone. On to the next call. Right. And that's how it works. That's just how the NHS is a thing. So yeah, I for days I was phoning and saying like it's infected, and they were like, we can send you an emergency doctor. They'll be there in 8 or 9 or 12, maybe 15 hours. Will you be ready? And I'm just like, no, I won't be ready at an indistinct hour of the morning for your doctor to emerge from the bushes and present me with medication, but only at that hour. That's how ridiculous it is. It's literally like they'll be there at 5 a.m. Will you be up? No, then fuck off. And you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not kidding. And then it got to Monday, and I phoned my GP, and they start with an automated phone call going, there are no appointments. Like, if you want an appointment, you're not getting one. Stay on the line if you think you deserve one. And then it's like 45 people in the queue, and you can just imagine there's 44 old women like, please, Manuel, and they're like, no. And then I finally got through to a nurse, and I explained the situation, and she's like, so what makes you think it's infected? It's like, oh my god, because it's infected. Because I had surgery and it's infected.
I don't
know. And then so they sent me to they're like, all right then, we're giving you an appointment, but you better not be lying. And that's how they make you feel. They make you feel like you're going in like, I'm not lying, I promise. And I got to the doctor, she looked at my nose and was like, oh fucking hell, that's infected. And he's like, thank you. Right. So they gave me antibiotics. I went home and I suffered for a week longer than I should have. But that's the story. And then I got food poisoning. I'm not kidding. Right at the end of that, I woke up and I was like, you know what? Tomorrow I'm gonna make a video. I'm back. I'm making a video. It's happening tomorrow. And I woke up that next morning just vomiting straight, just like
food poisoning.
I don't know. It is The Exorcist. That's what it was like. Like, just my head was revolving, just everywhere.
I knew you were in bad shape. Let's see,
it was that bad I had to stop drinking.
About 16 years ago, I got an infection, and I was refusing to go to the doctor, and
some stay you're still infected.
Oh my god, and it got worse and worse and worse, and then finally I was at the moment I decided to take a razor knife to it. My girlfriend at the time basically put her foot down and put her foot up my ass then and took me to the hospital.
You tried to cut out an infection?
Yeah, with a razor knife.
I don't think that's how infections work.
Huh?
I don't think that's how infections work.
Well, I know that now, but
just gonna do remove your veins. Well, without blood you can't spread.
I had it was an abscess. It was huge, and so I went into the hospital.
Took a knife to it.
Well, I was trying to. She stopped me. I wasn't going to the damn hospital, and she stopped me, and we went to hospital. The guy's like, he's like, what do you think's wrong? I said, I think I got infection, and the guy was like, well, we'll see. And I showed it to him. He's like, and next thing I know, like within 5 minutes, they had me in the back, and they had guys in full hazmat suits, and they came in and they started poking needles in me, and then they took my shirt off and they stuck it in my mouth, and they said bite down. I bit down. The guy cut it open, and they got 44 ounces of infection out.
I'm gonna be sick.
It was bad, bad. And then I went into the surgery, and they had me on morphine, and they cut a freaking 7-inch long, 2-inch wide, 3-inch deep hole to get it out and clean it out. And man, that was bad. So I know about infection. It was bad. That shit will fuck you up.
That's fucking horrific.
It was bad.
I'm just imagining the world's biggest fucking spot just being popped.
But us men, we don't go to the hospital unless we're basically on our deathbed. That's just the way we roll.
Yeah, no, I'll agree with you on that one. You know what? Speaking of stuff like that, you with the 5 minutes getting in, you reminded me of something. Like when I was a bit younger, I had like anaphylactic. So I've had 2 anaphylactic reactions. I don't know what I'm allergic to because, like you said, we don't go to hospital, so I never went to find out. So I just prefer the idea that there's a mystery substance out there that might kill me. It's a bit fun, you know. You never know. I might be like eating something. It's fun. It's great. It's fun. But no, it's not that instant. But the point was that the first time it ever happened, like I remember I was playing games with my mate, and I started to get itchy armpits, and I was like, armpits are itching a bit. And then like I started to feel like itchy all over. And I went down to my dad, like, Dad, I'm really itching. And he just looked at me like, whoa. And I was like, what? My face was like all swollen. So he's like, you need to go to the hospital. And I was like, nah, I'll be fine. And I went upstairs and I was like sat playing my game with my mate, like, and I was trying to smoke this spliff, and I was like, and they were like, just say it away. And after 5 minutes, like, I think I should go to the hospital. And they were like, yeah, you should. So I was like, right, I'll finish this and I'll go. So I went. And my mum is the most sweet person. She doesn't want to cause a problem, right? And she does, you know what I mean? She's like that. So when we got into the hospital, obviously, mum goes up to the desk to say what the problem is. And she comes back, she's like, yeah, they said just take a seat. And I was like, that doesn't sound right. And she's like, no, they said just sit down. I was like, right, mum, did you say that I'm having an allergic reaction? And she was like, well, yeah. I was like, right, just go back and say, he's having an allergic reaction. Just those words. And she was like, okay. She went in. She came back like, yeah, they want you to go through. I was like, nah, that's the one. I thought that was, yeah. That sounds a bit more correct. They took me straight in, hooked up to machines, fucking adrenaline in you. And it was like, it was amazing. I remember saying
Bernie's got a hurt tooth. I don't know if he's got an infection or if it's a hurt tooth. He needs to go to the dentist. Hey, Bernie, eat garlic. Garlic will help. I'm telling you there.
Are you saying that Bernie can't handle the tooth?
I don't know. He says his tooth hurts. Let's see. Bernie says the answer to my question. Bernie's answer to my question is lead can hold mercury, but kind of sketchy having lead pipe to begin with. I believe that said iron was the metal that could dissolve mercury. Could be dissolved by mercury. Wait. Iron was.
Did I just hear a helicopter fly past your house?
Nah, as a redneck in a big truck. Okay, I don't understand. Like Bernie's saying lead can hold mercury, but then he says, I believe the guy said iron was the one metal that could be dissolved by mercury. So I'm not sure. Here's the thing: lead pipes are not actual. They have lead in them, but they're not just lead. They're lead and other metals. Iron is not dissolved by mercury. Not dissolved by mercury.
You got to trust the man that eats heavy metals.
So mercury. or iron cannot be dissolved by mercury. So iron would work, right? Like you could put, let's say you had an iron pipe, it would work. Well, then maybe if the iron pipe had lead in it too, it might be okay. Maybe I don't know. It's just something I'm thinking.
I don't even know what Bernie's saying.
Here's the thing: we've got these. The,
I might click the comments.
these iron pipes are within all old buildings and houses, and they, you know,
hello friends. I can see the
anything
comments.
that is in these old houses is subject to be old world. It's like asbestos materials. I think those could be old world too.
They should have called it as worstos.
As worstos. Lord have mercy. Oh my goodness. Like I said, don't be a wanker.
I'll be here all week.
Thank goodness. No, it's good to see you back. People been wondering about you, and you know, I didn't know what to tell them other than like you would tell me from time to time, I'm okay, and the next thing I know, you're like, I feel like shit. Like it's like,
yeah. Well, I don't really like to bitch and moan, but I really did feel like fucking shite. Like to be fair, I still don't feel great. Like I'm dehydrated nonstop. I drink so much water, I'm still dehydrated. I sleep for like 12, 14 hours a day. So I reckon there's still something not quite right, but we're just making do.
You need that garlic. You need some garlic infused honey. That's some good stuff right there.
Well, sounds just like a really fucking weird mix.
It tastes really good too.
Yeah, don't forget your cheese and chili.
I don't know about that.
Actually, no, cheese and chili actually sounds like it'd be pretty good.
I hadn't had cheese and chili, and I don't know. They don't make it. I don't know. Can't get nowhere good around here. Can't get nothing good around here. We live in the country, so just ain't nothing here.
I bet the doctor that worked on your abscess could never eat cheese and chili again.
Jesus.
Fucking
you know that reminded me that guy, that damn doctor. I'd love to punch him in the fucking eye. Excuse my French, but because what they had to do was I had to for months I had to dress and I had to pack this wound. This is a deep wound. I had to pack it with this gauze stuff and use this some kind of chemical in it. I don't know what, some kind of cleaner. I don't remember what it was called, but it started with a D, I think. Anyways, and I had to pack this wound with gauze, and basically the idea is you heal it from the inside to the out, right? And so after the first, I think 2 weeks, I went back for a checkup at the doctor, and the guy who had done the surgery, he walks in, and the lady had told me how to do it, but she didn't tell me properly. I didn't know it, and I was doing it how she told me. So he walks in, and he put his finger on the wound, and he's like, this looks like it's doing really well, a little too well. And without any warning, he takes 2 fingers and jams it straight into the wound and then rips it back open. And it was so painful. I couldn't even function. It was like I wanted to punch him, but my arms wouldn't move. You know, and it was so painful. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? And then later on, he's like realized that the lady had told me wrong how to do it, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And I'm like, "If I could choke you right now, I would."
Wow, that's
why would you do that to somebody?
Yeah, no, the gauze shit is awful. Like I remember I had surgery on my arm a few years ago, and I had to go in and they removed the gauze from like before they surged it back together. They removed the gauze from the inside. And oh my god, that pain indescribable. I've never screamed at pain until that. That was like the worst shit I've ever felt.
It's horrible. No damn way. No damn way. What are you going to work on next? What's your next avenue of enlightening us? How are you going to enlighten us next? I'd like, you know.
I'm just continuing with the Tartarian articles. I'm just going to go through that, build a bit of a timeline of the Russian invasion of Tartary and kind of how they moved through independent Tartary. And then I don't know, really. I've not really planned it out.
Huh.
I mean, personally, I've been reading a lot into British history, so I've got about 10 books at the moment that I'm reading, and they're all very long. And thing is, though, is people. I'd say a lot of my audience aren't that interested in the British stuff. I mean, a few are, but most are probably here for the Tartaria stuff. So I have to focus on that.
Well, it's got to mesh together at some point. I mean, there has to be a.
Oh well, the meshes are there, 100%. Like, we know Tartarians are Scythians, and the evidence for Scythians in Britain, like the Scythians are Picts, the Scythians are Iberians, the Scythians are barbarians. They're everywhere. So it does match up.
I wonder what this timeline like. I'm trying to like understand like where if they change the timeline did they make up periods of time, or did they take periods of time and move it like in historical periods and move it forward or backwards, or did they like cut and paste, or like that's kind of confusing.
Well, that's the thing is when you do stuff like this, you have to kind of have like dialectic behavior therapy to be able to like hold opposing thoughts in your mind, because it hurts. Like, so that cognitive dissonance of like stuff that doesn't make sense. When you have research to do that has multiple possible avenues. So, for example, you've got like David Ewing Jr., Anatoly Fomenko, which view things as definitely copy and paste, and our real history started, only a couple hundred years ago at most, about 700 years. But then you've got like the alternative. So the stuff that I'm learning at the moment, the British history, it is based on official, history, as much as you can go by official. It's, thousands of years. So it's difficult in that sense, because I'm learning about stuff that's supposed to happen thousands of years ago. But then on the other hand, I've got other people like David Ewing Jr., Anatoly Fomenko, that kind of stuff, that are talking about it being much more recent. So it can be difficult, because you have to hold those two opposing opinions whilst doing your research. And you're thinking, oh, you know what I mean? It is quite hard to do.
Right. It's like last night I was, I found I was just doing a little research right before I went to bed. And of course, that's probably a bad time to do research because it gets your head going. But I found this image that I'd never seen before of Cleveland, Ohio. And I'm looking at this building and I'm like, that's really weird. I've never seen that building, because I've done a lot of looking into Cleveland. And so I started like looking at it closer and trying to figure out what I was looking at. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I know this road. And I kept looking at the picture. I'm like, wait a minute, I know that building, and I know there's an obelisk right there. I'm thinking, what the hell's going on here? Because it didn't look right. And so I started doing a little back engineering, and come to find out, what I was looking at was what I call an anomaly building, where you have literally two mudflood buildings on the same piece of property in different times. And so I found another anomaly last night, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man. I got to quit finding these damn things, because these things, they're really.
So you mean as in like they've been mud flooded from different eras?
No, what I mean is that I mean that let's say, I don't remember the exact date, but let's say in 1903, there is a building there's a photograph, there's a building on a piece of property, there's a photograph of this building, there's history of this building and everything. And then in 1906, there's a completely different building there, and they're both old world, they're both mud flooded, they're both just as interesting as the other, and they're on the same piece of property. What I'm thinking, here's the thing. I think that they changed the timeline somehow in 1943 with the Philadelphia experiment. And this is, me and Michelle Gibson have the same view on this. And I think what they did was that they changed this timeline And that's where these anomalies come from, because I find these quite often, and they're really, really strange. Because you're looking at these buildings and they are literally two mud flooders on the same piece of property, and each one is just as good as the other. And so I don't know. It's just really strange stuff. I don't know. This timeline thing really messes it with.
So yeah, the Philadelphia experiment stuff. What do you think about that?
Well, I think something happened.
So you think there's like time manipulation stuff, but what's your opinion on like space?
Space? Like, what is space?
Well, yeah, as in like, do you believe in other planets and stuff? Do you think that they've gone there?
No, I don't. Now I don't. I don't believe that there's.
Because like the notions behind like the whole secret space program were that it's all to do with like the Philadelphia experiment type stuff, which was that space was they were given some kind of technology and they attached it to submarines first, because basically they were the same kind of things. They were, vacuum sealed and used to the kind of pressures, and then they supposedly pushed them off into space in like the 30s, 40s, and went to like Saturn and stuff in these, and apparently the long tubes that people see, the UFOs, that's supposed to be that. I mean, if they're messing with time, and time and space is supposed to be the same.
I have one of the biggest problems I had when I woke up to flat Earth was the firmament. What the hell is the firmament? Because I looked at it from a viewpoint of construction. How the hell, not how did God create the firmament, but how is it structured? Like, because I'm a construction dude, so I think in terms of construction, and I think in terms of the mechanics of how something is put together and the framework. And so I'm thinking, well, how in the hell could that even, like, how do you create this dome over the earth?
Well, have you seen like an air bubble in water?
Yeah, and so now I'm kind of I've realized that it's not a framework, that it's something that we don't understand.
Well, one of the things that I've kind of actually gone towards a bit more, because obviously I'm a bit different than you. Obviously, I'm still globe, but like I see it like that, like a bubble, right? A bubble is just oxygen traveling through water. And in that sense, that is kind of what we are. And you know what? That whole water theory, I know there is a lot of people that have talked about, I've seen it on Campbell's channel talking about space actually being water. And I think there is a, there could be something to that. Maybe not necessarily water as we know it, but some kind of liquid or something. Because, I do remember there was that time when one of the astronauts apparently on the ISS he had a leak supposedly in his helmet. And it blinded him, and he got back to the thing. And I was like, wait, imagine if that was actually more that it cracked and that the water was leaking in from the outside. But this is just stupid theories from somebody that doesn't know anything. So,
okay, anything that has to do with NASA, I think, is bullshit. So my problem is like, okay, what is past the firmament? And my answer to that is I don't know, but I do believe in interdimensional realities. So what I think is going on is that these planets, or what we associate with our ideas of planets, that they're possibly on a different frequency, on a different dimension, and that there is these possibilities. And I think that's where you get into the 12th planet and stuff like that these stories came from interdimensional to here. I don't know, but this is kind of where my thinking is at this moment. I think that I'm not sure. Either the firmament is this blue ice kind of stuff, or the firmament is a field of sorts, kind of like a force field, but a field of energy that blocks, and it can only be penetrated through interdimensional. Basically, you have to turn to light in order to go through it. But I
could see it as like if you look at the Bible, it talks about God creating everything from chaos, and I think like that might be more of a metaphor. Again, I could see that, like the bubble in the water as a metaphor for our planet. You know, we don't know. Maybe we are slowly rising through a giant fish tank all the way to the surface. I think when you look at the globe side of things, the idea of a firmament, well, yeah, if there is a liquid, or it's, you know, you've put all that oxygen together and it's now in a little bubble that's, you know, that's maintained, and you can have stuff live in that bubble. In that same sense, we have fish tanks, right? So we're in the oxygen world and we have a fish tank with a bubble. So that fish is inside thinking, you know, what's on the outside? And that's that same kind of principle. We are in a fish tank, but the opposite, we're in an air tank. So we're in a little air tank floating in God's bedroom, perhaps.
You know, what's interesting is you've got let's say the firmament, and then you've got, let's just say flat Earth, and then below flat Earth, I believe there is material, let's say Earth, okay? But then what's below that? What's underneath that? And I'm wondering if there is like a reverse of what we are upside down. So that I've wondered if the torus field has that there's an underside that is just like us, but it's underneath, and there's a transfer between the two, which is what we call hollow Earth. And then they have this torus field, and then you can just flip it over, and there you go. You've got a whole nother Earth upside down, kind of like the movie. What's that movie? Where there's two worlds together. One's one way, what's that movie? Shit.
Narnia.
No.
No. All right.
Oh God. Anyways, but if you got the torus field going around, right? It you know, I think we are the middle of that torus field. So what's to say there's not something underneath us that's getting the other side of that energy?
I mean, the thing is like, when it comes to this kind of topic, I don't have enough expertise to like challenge the people that say it's flat or the people that say this round, because it's just not my area. I think, like, you know, that's why we have people supposedly to do these things. I'd like to think that they wouldn't choose something that was so easily provable. You know what I mean? Like if we got up there and we're like, ha, it's flat. But I don't see why, if you believe God created the earth, why it would have to be flat. Because he's God. If he wanted, he could make it anything. But again, it's not something I like to really get too much into an argument about, because I just don't have an expertise in the region. So,
well, if you go there, then you know it's possible that all of this is a simulation, and then God can do whatever the hell God wants to do. So it could be that we're just an idea in God's mind, and it's this simulation that's incredible. That's why we can't figure it out, because it's a simulation, and we're not supposed to be able to figure it out. Maybe.
Well, possibly. But I mean, I think if it did turn out we were in some kind of flat system, it'd be pretty evident that we're either, you know, some kind of science experiment, or trapped or in prison or something. Whereas, you know, because it's evident, isn't it? If it's flat, somebody's done it. If it's round, you can be like, all right, fair enough. It might have just fallen together. But if it's flat, it's like, no, someone did that. You don't look at Asgard.
I think if it was round, it'd be, you know, that's evidence of a creator too. I don't
I don't mean it's not evidence of a creator. I just mean it's evidence that something has happened a bit more naturally. Like, I believe in God, obviously. I just I think that it might have happened in the way we say. But again, right, this is the way that I view it, actually. They talk about God creating things at a snap, right? And we know that time and space don't exist to God. So the point is God could create something in a snap and it would still have a history, right? Just because he created something in an instant doesn't mean it starts from now, because that's not how time works to us. So him saying, I create this, he might create it at the end, but it still has a beginning. And that's the point. And I think that's the way you've got to see things, is non-linear. We see it as has to have a beginning and an end, but God is outside of time. God
Sure.
doesn't view time as that. So when he snaps something into existence, he might be creating it now.
Sure.
He might create it in 7 days, but it still has millions or billions of years of history because he created it. And to have that, do you get me?
Yeah. Oh, I understand when you said non-linear. That makes a lot of sense, because in editing you have what's called linear editing and non-linear editing. Linear editing is where you actually cut the film and take a piece of film and put it from here to here, or this film to that film. That's called linear editing. Then you have non-linear editing, which is what you use computers, and where you can take a piece of video or a picture or an image or anything from one place and put it here and then put it there and move it around and swap around and flip it upside down, and run it in reverse. You could do all kinds of things with it. That's non-linear. That's non-linear editing. And I think that would be more that's why I think that our timeline not only could be changed, but I can find no anomaly mudflood buildings on the same piece of property, because you have this non-linear reality, this simulation that can be non-linearly edited.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, I think that is exactly what people are kind of talking about with stuff like, the events and stuff like that. And particularly with, when stuff changes. I don't like saying the term because it's just such an over-the-top term, but
I do believe it's a flat, maybe not physical. It may not be a flat physical Earth, but a flat simulation nonetheless. I don't believe that the ball is accurate anymore.
Bernie is currently having an argument in the comments. This is like really distracting.
What is he talking about?
He's having a bit of a tiff. I just keep reading it, and I'm just like trying to listen to you, but I'm like looking over in the corner, like.
You're talking about earlier?
No, right now it's kicking off.
Oh, I'm still looking at him.
He's calling the guy out.
Who's Knowledge. He talking to?
He's just called him a goof clown. Called him out for having 15 subscribers.
Do what?
Bernie, keep your shit together. You're supposed to be a professional.
Hold on, I'm reading down here. Don't give Knowledge shit.
Yeah. Beagle's coming in protecting now. Yeah, I think Crypto got banned. He got
it's like, okay, here's the thing. We got planets are real, definitely could be different frequency, but are different, definitely out there. I think there's something out there, but as for like, is it what we're told exactly? I don't think so. I think there's, because you take a telescope and you look up and you see something, but are you seeing a light projection? Are you seeing something through a dimensional, through the dimension? So I don't know. Like if you look at a star through a telescope or binoculars, stars don't blink. Why are the stars blinking? That's not a star. Go outside at night and find you there's some that are better than others. Just find you a blinking star, take your binoculars and look at through binoculars, and then take those binoculars out of focus. And I'm telling you, that's not a star. Now, is it a planet, a spinning ball thousands and billions of miles away? I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I just personally view it as like, God talks about apparently there being another Earth where Jesus would take us to. I don't see why there wouldn't be other planets, there wouldn't be other creations, there wouldn't be other things. That's just my view on it. But then again, I'm biased because I like the idea of there being more to explore, there being more out there. The universe is infinite, and to me, that means infinite possibilities, infinite fun to be had. And the idea that it's just closed system is not fun.
Hey,
You know?
Bernie, I think I know what you're talking about. I saw Knowledge put up a post earlier saying that one of his moderators was blocking people and he didn't know who it was. And that's the same thing that Black Sheep was having. What the Flock, he was having that same problem. I don't know if it would be. I don't think it would be the same person, but it sounds like
We have an infiltrator.
Well, I don't know. I think people sometimes get
an infiltrator has entered the pack. He intends to cause harm and division within the group. These alpha males eye each other up, ready for battle, and with 5 brain cells sharing between them. Anything could kick them off. The slightest. Sorry, yeah, I lost it. Right. Let's go.
Oh, pretty good.
I just need some music behind me now, just like slight eerie music. This is the stuffed beagle. He believes the earth is flat, and he likes to do cocaine.
Wow. I'm not sure what was happening. I'm not sure. Crypto Bernie was fussing with Knowledge. Y'all make up. Y'all quit. We're trying to mend fences here. We're not trying to.
Yeah, Biggs, you are really far behind the chat.
I swear to God, the awakened people are the most aggravating motherfuckers on the planet right now. I swear to God, they are. We are some of the most self-righteous, egotistical fuck shits on the fucking planet right now.
Oh yeah. We're like we hate it when people tell us what to think. Now you better think how I do. Literally. But
the first I don't know, 13, 12, I don't know, so many years of my awakening, I didn't have the internet. So I didn't have this problem, and I didn't have to experience the awakened people, which it sucked in one way because I didn't get to, work with them and talk with them, and communicate with them and community with them. But now that I am, man, sometimes I wonder what the fuck is wrong with us, because I would expect that we would be able to talk amongst each other and work things out and have communications, but I swear I have had more trouble out of the awakened people than the sheep ever when it comes.
Well, yeah, it's because that most, like, everyone that has different ideas that have been shunned by one group, they all join into one area of people that have been shunned, and then they obviously have completely different points of view. So whilst they're all shunned, they've all got really differing opinions.
And there's also levels of awakening. So not everybody is awake to the same level, and so but when you're on your level, you think you got it all. You know what I mean? And until you get to that next level, you realize, oh wait, no, I wasn't as awake as I thought. But then every level you're at, you think you're higher than the other guy, and it's not true.
I'm just gonna read Bernie's comment. Nope, Knowledge is a goof bitch that can't handle simple questions. Fuck him, and he ain't worthy of our WhatsApp group. I was trying to engage the clown, and he blocked me.
That voice is killer. Oh God!
Come on, keep him going. I'm ready.
Y'all be nice.
I don't know what voice to give Knowledge. Shall I give him Batman? He could be Batman. He can sound like Batman. I was born in the dark. Knowledge.
I don't know what's going on.
My name is Knowledge.
Well, what's
I'm a
the
truther.
what's the
And I
question?
bet that.
I don't know what the question. I don't know what the question is that Bernie's trying to ask. Ask me the question. Maybe I can. Maybe I
Where's
can.
Rachel? Sorry.
I don't know what we're arguing about. I don't.
Loot do archaics. Archaics. Marauders.
Is he still around? Is Archaic still around?
I like Marauders, but it's set here Archaics past 3 years.
I thought he had done dropped off.
Hey, I can't do Rocky. Adrian!
I'm trying to find. Maybe I'm not seeing.
If we could be a friend. What is it he says to the communists to solve the Cold War? If I could change, and you could change.
Is Bernie asking about the Phoenix event for what? I don't understand what I'm.
Phoenix
I'm looking for the question here.
Marauders. I love saying that. Marauders is like the fucking best thing to say.
I'm trying to find what Bernie is asking.
You need to skin up rough. I know, I've been grinding for like 10 minutes. What's wrong with me? I've been on autopilot.
His bricks he was pulling out of the lake. What lake? I don't even know. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. They're talking about something I don't even know.
What? War at the lake? Let's have a look.
The question is, can knowledge handle a simple question? And the answer is no. He's a little bitch that blocks people.
I don't know what's going on. I'm so lost. I don't understand. I don't know what brick you're talking about. I can't answer.
Grinder, bro. This is my Thorinda. I've had this for years. We've got a special bond.
Okay, I see he blocked you. He blocked you, but why did what was the question? Oh, y'all just get along. My goodness, like maybe he didn't want to answer the question. Maybe he didn't know the answer. Maybe I don't know. There might be 1,000 reasons. I don't even know what I don't know what lake. I don't know what brick. I can't answer the question. I don't know why I'm trying to answer the question.
I want more of this argument, so I've got stuff to say in David Attenborough's voice. It's so fun.
I just wish we could, like, as a community. You haven't experienced this yet, Luke. You will, but you haven't had people like attacking you.
Oh yes, I have.
Yet. When?
Well, like, you know, in a few of those videos with the, you know, Ewa and the rest of his team.
Oh, those wankers.
You know, they've poked a bit of fun at me. You know, some people post some not very nice comments, and yeah, I don't appreciate that. But to be honest, it's fine because I can just remove those comments.
You know that they're oh, those guys! What a joke! They're all they are now is mainstream. They're just they read mainstream history and then tell it from a different angle. That's all they're, and they got slick production. So you gotta understand, Wood Nichols, he has he is in the movie industry or some shit. Like, he knows how to edit really well, so he can make things look really slick. And so they put this slick production together, and y'all just eat it the fuck up like it's the
that's some CIA shit.
Yeah, I mean it's horse shit. I don't know. Anyways, no, not look. Bernie's cool with me. Knowledge is cool with me. I'm, you know, I'm trying to.
Have they said anything else? Or no?
I don't know. They're I don't know. Bernie's got his knickers in a bunch. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
We need more arguments. This argument needs to continue.
I don't know how to intervene because I don't understand I don't understand.
Maybe I should. Let's have a look.
Have you started working on your secret project yet?
No, he told me to make sure my voice was good.
Right.
So
Yeah,
I've started it. Yeah, I'm gonna start probably like tomorrow, I think. I need to make sure this mic is in its best condition.
You need to be on your A game,
I will do. Yeah, well, I'm trying to get some more of the argument, so because it's really funny. Where did it start? Where did it start? Oh, here it was. One of your wankers blocked me in your live comments for asking a question. That was it. Can you see that one?
It shoots.
Oh no, I can't do it on this, can I? I'm not.
Okay, what is it?
12:37. It was Crypto's. One of your wankers blocked me in your live comments for asking a question. And then, what do you mean by my wankers, Crypto? Wait.
What do you mean by my wankers, Crypto? I blocked you because you were acting like a retard. Your mods are wankers for blocking me, asking a simple question, replies Crypto Alchemist. So you are the wanker. Got it, douchebag? I'm not going to get into it in the Beegs chat. Knowledge is a goof who can't handle a question. I will. You're a goof and you can't handle a simple question. It makes you pathetic.
We've gone off the rails for sure now.
You didn't ask a question. You said something stupid about a Phoenix event.
Don't be a wanker.
Fucking crying.
Just randomly. Time is definitely non-linear. Your opinion means nothing to me.
Oh my god.
Knowledge, you mean nothing to me. You have 15 subscribers. Love you all, except Knowledge, who is a goof clown.
Actually, Knowledge has a second channel that has like 1,500 subscribers. So,
oh fucking hell! Check that, 1,500.
I'm mad because he blocked me for asking a question.
you might be barking up the wrong tree there.
I was asking whether he could source his bricks. He was pulling me out of the lake, and the goof blocked me. I was trying to engage the wanker, and he blocked me.
Now, he's got Knowledge TV or something. Knowledge, are you still here? I hadn't seen him in a while. Anyways, he's probably like, "Fuck this, I'm out."
Yeah, he's quit.
These fucking wankers. Oh. Oh my god, no, yeah. I don't know why we have to. I don't know why people just can't have a damn conversation. That I don't know why people can't just talk, like, and have a people want to talk to, like, the people that absolutely agree with them. Anytime somebody is like not in agreement with them, oh no, we can't have a conversation with them at all. Like that, no.
Oh, apparently I sound nothing like David Attenborough. That's the first time somebody's ever said that, ever.
What? Said what?
Somebody said I sound nothing like David Attenborough. Like, mate, do you have ears?
Who's that? Who's the guy that passed away this past week? The flat Earth dude. What's his name?
Splendid Graffiti says, "Come on, lads, get some interesting stuff going on." Like, he has no idea what he's come to watch.
Upside Down. That's the movie I was trying to think of earlier. Yeah, that's
a sequel.
that movie. Have you ever seen that movie?
No, really, it sounds like it's from like the 1800s.
No, it's the guy. Hell, the guy. You kind of look like that guy from the movie.
Oh, I'll have to look it up now. What's his name?
Oh gosh, I don't know his name. The girl, I can't remember her name either.
Dementia's a bitch.
She's blonde. She was in
Upside down. Oh, that guy. Oh wait, no, that's a song by Jack Johnson. Never mind.
do what?
Upside down. Was it a film in 2012? Jim Sturgis. Oh no.
No,
He was
wait.
born
It's
in
the guy
London.
that played in the Beatles movie. Oh God. I just got off work, y'all, and my brain is fried from working in the heat. Wait, what was that? Ewok won't come on camera and is the biggest switch. You know that I that is something that's like really frustrating. I was thinking that today is that it is incredibly difficult to have a conversation with somebody when you're talking to their icon and not like I'm talking to Luke right now, but I'm looking at Luke because when you're talking to somebody and you don't, all you have is an icon, you can't see their facial expressions. You can't see if they're joking or they're serious or if they're getting pissed or if they're understanding or if they're not understanding. And like it makes a whole different conversation. So my advice to anyone that is out there trying to do this sort of thing is to try to get on camera because it really helps the conversation. And that's why I won't talk to, Ewar because he won't go on camera. I cannot talk to a damn icon in a serious conversation of that level. There's no way because he can hide so much behind that icon that you cannot you can't talk to. It's like talking to a brick wall that blinks and flashes every time somebody runs their mouth. I can't do it. Not in a conversation with somebody on that level.
I think the thing with Ewart, and I don't really have any idea about the truth, but I personally reckon that he's kind of got at by somebody who's involved. You know what I'm talking about? The suits. Because the way he switched suddenly from like what he was on, like all his subscribers were from believing in Tartaria and kind of like all alternative history, and then suddenly he just switched, and all, like you said, his videos were better. He's obviously getting funded.
I don't know. I've always took it that he's just a guy who came across the research. He didn't do his own research, and he collated everybody else's research, made this video, and it blew up. He had no idea, and then his ego blew up. He got this big head, and then he had some sort of experience and it changed his mind, which is okay, no problem. But then he flipped a bitch and just threw out everything that like he was swearing by before. But the problem is that when it wasn't his research in the beginning. So what he did was he threw out everybody else's research that he stole from, and that's what pissed people off was that he threw everybody under the bus, because he finally pulled his head out of his ass and decided to do his own research. But then his research was bullshit. So it's like, that's why people can't stand him.
Yeah, I think it's very easy to follow the official narrative of things, isn't it? Though, you get lost in that kind of the aspects.
Yeah.
And you know what, like the algorithm and stuff on YouTube definitely pushes you to stuff like that. So if I sign out of my account on YouTube and I go on my normal TV, which obviously has seen a few of my videos, the stuff that it shows me is stuff that's trying to debunk my videos. So I'm seeing it from the point of view of like, what other people be seeing it. And it's not specifically me, but it's debunking the ideas that I'm proposing. So it's talking about Egypt, and it's, directly basically trying to debunk all the stuff I've been saying about extra pyramids and Aswan. And, he goes on Tartaria videos. What really is Tartaria? Like, I mean, I was searching the other day for a specific dude who talks about World War II, and it was coming up with videos about completely different subjects, TED Talks, in the first 10 results, completely different subjects, and I'm searching a person's name, and the video results are like, a TED Talk on ancient Egypt, look at this, a TED Talk on World War II. And you're like, no, how about show me the results I actually want to see? And that's the kind of stuff that we have to fight against, is the algorithm that wants you to see the official narrative.
Algorithm, man, I can't stand that thing. It is so, it's so ridiculous. It just doesn't even like it's like I can search my videos, like not my videos, like okay, if I search my title, I'll find my video. But if I search like for viaducts, you know, I'm not gonna find my video on viaducts come up unless I search through down like it, and or pavement. Like it's like there's people that have made. I made the freaking the original definitive fucking pavement light video, yet you have to search and search and your search to find it. And like you should just be able to put pavement light in and it come right up, but it doesn't.
Happy birthday to Gold Coast Lady, I think. Just
yeah.
I think.
Yep.
Just saying.
Yep, just saying. Just saying.
Just that.
Happy birthday. Well, we can't sing it. You know that song is copyrighted?
For real?
It is. You literally cannot use it. It is actually against copyright to sing that song.
You know what, though? I'm actually all right with that because it's a shit song.
It is a shit song.
Oh, no, guys. Copyright saved us. Especially the one. Are you talking about the proper, like, Mr. President one? Because that one, that pisses me off.
Well, yeah, that's bad. Yeah. Yeah, that's bad.
You know what? I'm not a Scrooge, but I hate Christmas music. When Mariah Carey comes on at Christmas, I've heard it enough, you know?
I like older Christmas music. I like stuff I grew up on, but I mean, you know, that's.
I feel like, you know what? I'll probably sound like an old person, but music is definitely used to like control like our narrative, or like the way we think. Like the music that they put out basically dictates how we behave. Like, look at the way the songs that are famous at a certain time, they're all about stuff that they want you to believe in, and it's all going to like a narcissistic kind of, you know, be a slut, it's fine.
They totally control the music industry.
Well, it is. That's where it's all going. The music is literally the lyrics are like, you know, don't care about life, you're fucked anyway, nobody cares about you, and you're like, that's it, yeah, just go and dance to that, and then like do drugs, fuck everyone, literally and figuratively.
You know, it's almost like right out of 1984, the book. They had machines that would make the music, and you know, it's just that's almost what we're at now. You know I don't know if people realize, but I could literally sing right now, and you could put it through auto tune. It would make me sound like, you know, Lady Gaga. I mean, it doesn't even matter.
Do it.
Well, I don't have auto tune, but if you can literally not sing a note, and they could put it through auto tune, and it will sound like a choir.
If I find a way to get you auto tune, will you do that?
I don't. It's very expensive, I think. I think it is. I think it really is.
I think we need to crowdsource this, guys. We could turn Biggs into a superstar.
Yeah.
I want you to sing my intro music.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be a riot.
Yeah, and we'll use a deep fake. We'll deep fake you onto like Britney Spears' body.
Man, I tell you what, that AI deep faking is insane how good it's getting. I'm seeing things now that are like you could make anybody look and sound like anybody. It's insane.
Did you see that picture of me bursting out of egg that Britney posted in the group chat?
Yeah.
That was beautiful, wasn't it?
That was pretty good. She's done a couple of me, but I don't think I'll look I think I look too. I have too. I say too plain of a face for it. She says she thinks it looks good. I think I look too plain. Like I looked like I don't have enough. Like you guys have facial hair that make you more distinct. So when you do the deep fake, you can see you. You know what I mean? But when like
I do not have facial hair, mate. I can't even grow a beard. This is it. This is like 3 weeks worth of beard.
you got the Fu Manchu going.
Honestly, it looks like I've done this on purpose. But that's just all I get. I'm 28. I still can't grow a beard. I remember, I asked my dad when I was like 18. I was like, Dad, when did you get a beard? He was like, about 23, 24. And I was like, great, nice. Then it hit 24, and I was like, bit of a late bloomer. And now I'm just like, it's never happening. Never happening.
You look like you have a little bit of Asian in you. Like,
would you like some?
You do. You look like you remind me of a guy I know that was Korean. Like he you have a kind of a Asian look to you, in a way.
All right, I know. I'm Candace.
Was there any Asians in the woodpile? Is what I'm asking.
No, I'm Candace.
What the hell is that?
Candace.
What the hell is that?
Candace dick fit in your mouth.
Wanker. Oh my god! I don't even know where I put that.
You just got done by like 12-year-old humor.
I was trying to remember where I put that video that Brittany put me on some kind of, I don't even know who it was. Some guy's like a strong man and he rips his shirt off on like some kind of live interview show, like late night interview show. And like, I didn't know who it was, but it was pretty funny. But I don't know. I think I don't know. Like I tried to do like into Nicolas Cage in National Treasure, and I swear I looked like Nicolas Cage. Like it was so similar. That
You do look like Nicolas Cage. I can see.
And I think that's what I like. I was like, man, I don't even look like cool. Like she did Bernie, and Bernie looked so cool when she did his, and like because he has more distinct face.
Have you seen that Nicolas Cage movie where he plays himself with Pedro Pascal? Is it?
I'm not sure.
It's called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent or something like that.
No, I hadn't seen that.
You need to watch that. It's absolutely brilliant. Like he plays himself, and he's it's really good. Just I won't ruin it. Just watch
Nicolas Cage is either on or he's off for me. Like when he's on, he's on. When he's off, wow, he's off.
Yeah, there's a new movie he's in as well where he apparently plays a vampire with Nicholas Hoult. I actually really want to see that because I feel like Nicolas Cage
vampire movie early in his career that was absolutely horrible.
Well, this is what I mean. I feel like Nicolas Cage, to be fair to him, is like really self-aware. He is actually, that's what that movie that I was just talking about really goes into. Is he is definitely self-aware about himself. And I think that makes him really likable because he's a nutcase, isn't he? He throws himself into every role and he's brilliant. He really is. Like, by all rights, he should be the worst actor, but he's absolutely brilliant when he hits it.
What's that movie that he was in? I love this movie. It's an old hold on. Blue. Okay, what's the guy's name that did Devil in a Blue Dress? No, shoot, that's not it. Damn. Hold on. What? There's a movie he did a long time ago. Let's see.
You're holding the show up here.
Yeah, well, they'll get over it.
Gone in 60 seconds.
No. This is older than that.
I'm just reading from the comments. Everybody say a movie.
No.
McConaughey. Is that a thing?
No. Shit. I got to know now.
I've always wanted to be able to do a McConaughey accent, but he's just too good.
Career. Oh my gosh, they got so many. Damn it. No. Not Honeymoon in Vegas. Shit. He Laura Dern's in it with him.
I don't know, but one sec, just got to grab something from the fridge.
Okay. Wild at Heart. Wild at Heart. If you've never seen that movie was crazy. That's old school Nicolas Cage. I've seen that movie a bunch of times. Wild at Heart, Luke, that's the movie. That was a crazy movie. That was
Right.
done by
David
Lynch.
What movie was it?
Wild at Heart. David Lynch is the director. That movie is crazy. If you've never seen that movie, that was a good movie. That's dark. That's some dark ass crazy shit there.
Okay, I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, it's old school Nicolas Cage. It's like one of his first films. It was in 1990.
How much did you pay for your green screen? I'm looking at green screens and I'm just seeing, well, what should I be paying for that?
Oh man, like $20 to $30 max. I mean, like
For real?
All you need's like a this one I use is like a 9x12 or 15. I can't remember exactly, but it's like a 9x12, and it came with like 4, 5, 6 clips that you can hang it with, and it's all it is green material fabric, and it's cheap and it works fine. That's all you need, and the more light you have, the better it works. You can also get them where it comes with a stand, where you have a stand that it sits on. But what I did was I made my own rigging for it.
Oh yeah, because the other thing is my roof is is this angle, so I'm thinking how I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, you can buy it with a stand, and you can get them cheap. I mean, they're really cheap. You really don't need to spend a lot of money.
Yeah, because when I went on Amazon, the first one was like £100. I was like, fuck that.
No. Well, I don't know what is a quid anyways. Like
it's
$1.50.
$1.20.
I mean, you shouldn't pay more than 20, 30. Well, with a stand, maybe $40. But I mean, you can get them pretty cheap.
Yeah,
and I'm sure
it would be better than me fading out.
Oh yeah,
melting.
Yeah, that's an easy solution.
I do kind of Asian, don't I? Now you said it. My sister used to get bullied for looking Chinese in school.
You do have do you have any? Have you ever looked into it? Maybe you have some Asian ancestry you didn't know about.
No, my sister did a DNA test recently that said that we were like 11% Italian and 11% Iberian, but nothing weird. But I actually reckon, you know what? It'll be Tartarian, won't it?
Yeah.
It will be. It'll turn out that I'm like, the Prince of Tartary.
That'd be crazy if you got one of those back and it said, 50% Tartarian. Wait, what?
Well, the weird thing is like, my dad was adopted, and we know his mum. His mum is from weirdly right near a place called Mount Tabor in Halifax, which is named after the Mount Tabor in Jerusalem.
Huh.
And Israel, not Jerusalem, but yeah. She's from there, but they're Welsh, the family originally, Crowther. But then the dad, they don't know who he was because the mum would never say. So that's fun. She just refuses. Just like, no, you mustn't know. So he's either like a Nazi or something. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Knowledge sent me an email. I was just reading it. He I guess he didn't know who Bernie was, and I guess Bernie was like he doesn't really understand who Bernie is. Like so he was a little bit like he thought Bernie. I think he thought Bernie was messing with him, so he blocked him just to.
Bernie, are you hearing this, Bernie?
Yeah, he
didn't recognize you.
Yeah, he probably just didn't understand like what was happening. Like I get it. like you get trigger happy. Plus, I think if I remember correctly, me and Knowledge asked me about Bernie. Bernie's got the joke about how he's a Freemason. Have you heard the joke about that?
I've not heard the joke.
He this is Bernie's thinking. I don't it I think it doesn't make any sense to me, but his way of thinking is, I'm gonna say to mess with the trolls, I'm gonna say I'm a Freemason, and the trolls are gonna get all riled up, and it's gonna make the algorithm go crazy, and it's gonna help my channel. He's not a Freemason, but he's gonna say he's a Freemason just to fuck with him, right? To me, that's like, I don't know, whatever. I don't do that. I just doesn't make sense to me. But and he's always saying Illuminati confirmed. That's a joke. It's a joke, and like it's like a grown up joke. But
or maybe he is actually a Freemason, and he's doing that as a joke to convince you that it's just a joke. It's 4D chess.
Have you met Bernie?
Yeah, okay, he's a shit Freemason, but he's still a Freemason.
Bernie's not a Freemason. But I think Knowledge didn't know. Like
nobody said he was talented.
Is he a Freemason? I'm like, no, he's not a Freemason. I had to explain that to Knowledge, because Knowledge was like, it is. I think because I was like, Bernie was wanting to maybe come on the chat when we were going to chat, and he's like, well, isn't Bernie a Freemason? I'm like, no. I was like, oh God, Bernie. I don't know, Bernie. Bernie's younger. You younger folks, you have your different ways of doing things, but that's okay. That's okay.
You young people with your iPhones and your fax machines.
Fax machines, really? Do you even know what a fax machine is?
I do. I remember them.
I hated those things. Oh my God, they would. I don't know if you knew this, but people would just, once they had your number, they would just send you shit, and your fax machine would always be running and
mate, oh my God, that sounds like absolute banter. I would be sending people stuff all day.
Oh, it was horrible.
That'd be so funny.
Oh, it was horrible. Because it like your fax machine would run out of paper, and like it was you either had one or two types. You either had the kind where it was on a roll, and your roll would run out, and it was a pain in the ass to replace, or you had to continually keep feeding paper to the fax machine. Finally, people got to where they just unplugged the fax machine. They're like, "Fuck it, if you want to use it, plug it in," because it was that bad. Fax machines. This is before email really became a big thing, and it was so annoying. I mean, it was helpful at times.
It's nice to hear of you from the past. This will be forgotten.
I mean, I can't tell you how many times I had to fax quotes to customers for jobs or whatever, and I would fax the quote. I had, that was like a common thing.
I remember my dad doing that because he was a builder as well.
So annoying. Anyways, I don't know.
Anyway, I think I'm going to jump in about 5-10 minutes if that's cool.
I was about to say, I'm glad you're feeling better. I know you were not going to hang around too long. And,
but
of course, I'm already tired of talking to you. So, but
that's good. I'm very disappointed you didn't break out any pictures for us to see today.
I'm so anal about what I show.
You just missed me so much. You just needed an hour and a half of just pure chatty. That's all you needed.
I don't like to just throw pictures out at people. I like to be.
You like to be wine and dined before you show the pictures.
Pretty much. I like, you got to hit the button right.
Got to tease you.
Yeah.
Tempt you out like a badger with those pictures. Go on.
Well, we'll get back into it. We'll let you get your sea legs back and get your systems up and going, and get you a green screen. Hey, everybody, send Luke some. Are you set up on for donations and things yet, or have you got that?
Yeah, I've got what's it called? Cash App. Got fucking Patreon. Buy me a coffee.
Okay,
Whatever.
yeah.
I don't know. Just
I'm
loads.
sure that Luke could use a little help getting him a green screen. So help him out getting some some things for working on his YouTube stuff. I don't know what all you need. Is there anything else that you need that
Not really, I think I've pretty much got everything. I even got myself, look, this is beautiful. It's a tablet. You can't really see it because the green screen wants to get rid of it. But yeah, it's a tablet, and it lets me draw. I like to draw things, so I can do my Photoshop now. Yeah.
You know what I saw a guy doing yesterday? He was doing a live stream, and he had a tablet on a mount that was like right in front of his, like right here, like forward. It was kind of like another monitor, but he was using his tablet as another monitor. I was like, that's really clever.
Yeah. No, well, they do those where like they're just tablets that you can like draw on with like with your stylus pen, and it's like just connected to Photoshop. So it's literally just your Photoshop in front of you. They cost quite a bit though. I really did want one, but they're quite expensive. So that would be something for the future. I mean, I don't really do art, so I shouldn't waste that much money on it. But
yeah, that I'd like to do that too, but it's just I've got bigger fish to fry right now. That's something that I would love to have, just because every now and then I feel like creating something artistically, and that would be a really wonderful tool. I don't know.
Well, what I really do need though is I need a house. So if anyone's got a spare one of those going, feel free to throw it my way, because don't have one of those, so need that.
Well, you never know, man. There's very generous people in our world.
I've been considering, whoring myself out as a
Well, if you got it, flown it. I mean,
for the old women that are lonely.
Cougar daddy.
Yeah, I was trying to think what would be the correct word, because I mean, there's toy boy, but I'm 28. I don't know if I quite qualify for that. But then I was there, as I was saying it, as I actually sounds quite sinister, that doesn't it? It sounds like I'm just marrying them for their wealth, which I guess it would be.
Toy? That's an old movie, Toy, with Robin Williams. That was really good. That's an old movie.
No. Is that another from the 1800s?
It's like the 80s, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was born in 94, so like there's not many movies before that I've seen.
94. Oh my god, what was I doing? I was really drunk in 94. Oh, good lord, I was drunk.
Wait, how old were you in 94?
Oh, I was early 20s, or 23, 24, I'd say.
Wow. Yeah.
Like
crazy.
Yeah, that was that. Now my major partying years were between 18 and probably 23, 20 something, 22, 23. But yeah, we used to throw some real bangers.
Never too late, mate. You could do it again.
No, God, no. You don't understand. No. We no. We were throwing parties that were massive. They were out of control, massive. Let's put it this way: we throw a beginning, a back to school bash every year. And the last year we threw it, there was 10,000 people counted. We had 82 cops, 2 paddy wagons. They brought in construction lights to put on either end of the streets. It was insanity.
That sounds like that Project X movie.
You know what? When that movie came out, I'm like, that's what we did. Like that was us. We did that. Like before that movie, that was based on a real movie, but we did that in the early 90s. It was called Brent Road, and like they literally had to the city of Raleigh literally changed the laws in order to get us to stop throwing parties because
You're gonna have to get some pictures of you back in the day now. Show us what party beaks look like.
I've got pictures of the cops all up and down the road. Hold on, let me see if I can find one.
We're gonna find one of you like fighting the cops, like.
God, I don't.
Spray painting "fuck cops" on your chest.
I've got. Let's see.
So we're breaking into Beeg's history here. We're learning. This is what the fans are here for.
I haven't like done all the I haven't put all the pictures I have on the computer yet, but this is like the last big party we had, and this is before the party started, and they literally had 6 cops every 10 feet.
Bruh.
And this was no joke. I mean, they literally brought in 82 cops for our party. 82.
And what did they do? Just stand there?
No, this is before the party. The party started at night. They set up in the daytime, and this is after the party. I don't know, somebody threw a Budweiser sign up on the house, and we had this I forget, it was like a bull thing you could ride, and it would throw you off into the mud.
How did you pay for this?
The people, that was my car back then.
Oh my god, this is right. We need to know more about this.
Oh, here's a newspaper article about it.
Right, wait, what's that? With that car, can I just ask you a question? A very serious question. And I want you to be honest with us. Were you a pimp?
I called it the pink pussy.
Were you a pimp?
Oh, it was wonderful. You could fit 10 people in it. It was wonderful.
No, but, right, answer the question. Were you a pimp?
No, actually, what we did was we took the beer money, because what we would do is every Friday and Saturday night we would throw a party, and we would on Friday afternoon we would go and buy 10 kegs. We had our own kegs, and we had our own taps, and we would go to Fort Bragg, and we had a guy that had a military ID, and he could buy from the commissary. He could buy kegs for $35, and then what we would do is we would charge $5 for a cup for all males. So if you were a guy, you had to pay $5 for a red cup. Okay. And so ladies drank free. And so we would charge $5 for a cup, and you could drink all night. But the problem was there was a problem with cups disappearing, because we would literally throw the cups away on people and charge them again, because they were drunk. They would pay it. So we were making bank selling beers. And we'd have 400 or 500 people at the house every Friday night, and then we'd do it again on Saturday night. And we'd go to the bars before the parties, and we would announce at all the bars late night at 5:12, and that everybody knew that meant late night. And we started our parties at 2:30 in the morning when the bars closed. So when the bars closed, everybody came to the house, and so it was insanity, absolutely. And the problem was it got bigger and bigger and bigger, and it started consuming us. Like, people would show up literally on a Thursday night. Y'all partying tonight, man? Come on, man. Beer, woo! And like, hey, dude, I'm trying to take a fucking bath. You know? But,
wow. You know what? You just reminded me there. Have you ever seen The Other Guys, the movie with Will Ferrell, when he's like trying to explain how he wasn't a pimp, and he's just like walking like, no, I just had a few girls, and they'd go on dates, and I'd make sure the guys paid. And he's like, you're a pimp. I'm just looking at your car. Like, Biggs, you're a pimp. And you're like, yeah, no, the girls got free, and the guys didn't have to pay. I'm just there like, this guy was a pimp.
Oh my God. No, see what happened. We were on our way to Fayetteville to get the kegs one day, and that was the second Cadillac we had. The first one, see, we would take the beer money, and we would do stuff like pay the rent, and we'd pay bands to come and play sometimes. But then we took the beer money one time that we made, and we bought an old Cadillac, and when he spray painted like a big smiley face on the hood with a bullet hole in the head, And then we would ride around with bandanas around our head like we're Mexicans. I don't know, we were crazy. And then one time we were going down to Fayetteville and we saw this pink Cadillac sitting in a field outside of a barn. And it had a for sale sign. And we stopped and we asked this elderly lady, is the car for sale? She said, yes. We say, how much? She's like, $1,000. We're like, $1,000? She's like, yeah, it was my husband's and I hated it. And I'm like, dude, we got to get this money together. So we said, can we come back next week? And she said, sure. So we went back the next week and paid $1,000 for it. And man, that thing, it drove like a boat. Like you'd be going down the road and it'd be like waving like side to side. And we had big white wall tires on it. Oh, that car it was awesome. I love it.
I think you need to be doing a show on your fucking life, bro. This sounds sick.
No. People don't care about that shit, but
mate, this sounds sick. We're learning about you.
We actually got written up in Playboy magazine for best back to school party of the year one year.
See what I mean? You're like, nah, nobody cares, but we were in Playboy magazine for like the biggest party ever.
You know, at the time it was important. We thought it was cool then, but now I think
no one cares about me and my Gettysburg Record for the biggest party ever thrown by anybody ever.
I mean, it was fun when I was in my 20s, but you know, as you grow older, you let go of that kind of stupid shit. But you know, we would do this game where we would take the couches outside and put them in the front lawn, and the cops loved to drive by our house because it was so active. And every time everybody would get a color, so you'd like get white or black or red or green or whatever your color was, and every time your color car drove by, you drink. You'd be like, oh, green car, I'm green, you drink, right? And then if a cop drove by, it was a social, so everybody had to stand up and drink.
Wow,
just good times. One time we got we rented a hot tub and put it in the front yard for a party.
Where was this while you were at college, or just because you had a house with your friends? Or
it was it was college years, but the thing was that a couple of my friends were actually the founding fathers of the Delta Chi fraternity in Raleigh, North Carolina, and they eventually moved out of the fraternity, and when they did, they went to Brent Road, and that's when I met them, and we became friends, and we started having these parties. And so they actually had a party background. They knew how to start a party, and then there was just a group of us that we just did it all together, and we looked out for each other. We took care of each other. We made sure everybody was fed and had a beer, and it was just good times. And we always took care of the ladies and made sure they were safe, and it was just real good. North Carolina people having a good time, and okay, yeah, there would be some fights, people, you get people drunk and there'd be fights, but that's kind of bound to happen. But yeah, we were at the time, we were quite fucking legend at the time, but we're old and old farts now, so
Fucking hell. Did you just carry on partying then? Were you that guy that was still going until he was like 35?
No, that was just you let go of that stuff as you get older. I don't know, you just can't go. We were partying like we would literally party all night, and then like at 6 a.m. I would literally not even have slept and put on my work clothes and go to work and work all day. Like I can't. There's no way I could do that now. There, it's hell no.
I think I've not had like too much of a party phase. I think like a bit on and off, but never stuff like that because I've always lived at home, like with family and stuff. So I've never had that next level kind of all the time. But
yeah, it had its ups and downs. I mean, it was, we'd have toga parties and
oh mate, you know what? I always wish I grew up in America. I mean, on the bonus, I never got shot, but alternatively, I did always want to have that kind of Semper Fi style fucking, you know, raw American boy shit, you know, is like,
Yeah. I mean,
it's cool.
I don't know. That's typical American boy stuff. I mean, I don't know.
Like in England, it's completely different. You don't get that at all. It's like you get like you get groups in universities, but it's usually more the rich people,
Yeah.
like the really super rich.
Mhm.
And you know, the university experience is nothing. It's nothing like the college in America. And I you know, I'd love to kind of experience that kind of over the top stuff.
I
But
think it's okay when you're young to let loose and get wild and crazy and do stupid shit. I mean, we used to have like Christmas light wars, and like we would like see who could put the most lights on top of the house, and you know it would get crazier and crazier. And one year the neighbor he took a deer stand and climbed up the tree and ran lights all the way down as it came down. And then another year a guy took two boards and ran his Bronco up onto another guy's Bronco or another guy's car, and then put lights all over his Bronco. Like we'd have slip and slides going down the side of the house. It was, you know, that stuff is great when you're young, and I think you should let loose and get crazy when you're young. I mean, because you know what, when you get older, you're not gonna want to do that stuff because it's not fun. I wouldn't want to do that now. That's not me now. I've matured, thank God. But when I was young, I mean, you know, okay, look, we would do this thing, and like it was like, okay, who's gonna do it? Oh, okay, I'll do it tonight. And we would do what was called the flaming shark, and we'd strip down nude, take a piece of cardboard, cut it into a triangle, put it in our ass cheeks, and light it on fire and run down the road. The flaming shark. We would do this like every night. It was like somebody would do it. I did it enough times. I actually have pictures of me doing it. I will not be sharing those.
no, you need to show this. That's hilarious.
No.
Come on, you gotta break out the flaming shark.
Oh no. Well, I mean, you know, I think it's good to you know, those times, you know, they were they were really good times. I mean, you know, there was my next door neighbor. He had this thing where he once a year he would take his he had a Scout, which is a big American like SUV like hardy thing, and he had a grill on the front. And every year, once a year, every year, like clockwork, he would run all the way down the road and then all the way back, hitting every mailbox and running it over as he went, and then come all the way back. He'd knock all the mailboxes down once a year. It was like his thing, and you knew Curtis was going to do it. And that guy, that same guy, his name was Curtis. He, I remember sitting there one time and we were watching wrestling. He liked wrestling, and he's watching wrestling, and he looks at the TV. He goes, "I'm going to be that one day." And I said, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I'm going to be a professional wrestler." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." 2 years later, he actually became a professional wrestler, and his job was to get thrown through tables and have chairs knocked over his head. He actually he went to school to learn how to be a professional wrestler, got into the circuit, and was the guy. His job was to get his ass beat every night. The problem was that he got his ass beat so many times, even though it's fake, it hurts. He got hit so many times that they put him on painkillers, and then he got addicted to painkillers.
Oh, mate. So go on, sorry, Karen.
Then he got off the painkillers, and guess what he became?
A drug addict.
No, a barber. He cuts hair now.
Okay.
What the fuck?
I was gonna say someone said soggy biscuit in the chat, and it's just brought back Vietnam style flashbacks for me. Do you know of the soggy biscuit?
Soggy biscuit? What is that?
I don't know if I'm allowed to even say it. Just imagine a realm in which men were to do the deed onto a biscuit. A group of men, a circle. We shall call it a round table of gentlemen
We call
doing
it circle jerk here.
doing that. Yeah, the hand magic onto a biscuit, and the last man to perform the deed would have to eat the biscuit.
What the fuck? No, don't be none of that. No. No. Not gonna happen.
Oh yeah. In Britain, we've all heard of that. We all heard of the song. I've not done it. Don't get me wrong. I would have killed myself. Don't you can have my assertions right there. I would have ended
We
it.
took the Pink Cadillac to the Jimmy Buffett concert one year. We were out in the parking lot grilling up barbecue deer, and the guys from the Dave Matthews Band, their technicians came out with a camera and they were filming people in the parking lot, and they actually filmed us in the Pink Cadillac partying. And then they used that video for that entire summer season's tour up on the screen to show that. And they showed it at every concert that year across the country.
Fucking hell. Wow. You guys are extreme.
That car was legend. And honestly, to be honest with you, I really don't know what happened to that car. It one day I had it, and then there was a time where it was like
you stopped being a pimp and it just disappeared.
I don't know what happened to that car.
the magic stopped. Yeah, exactly.
I don't remember.
No, you know what? It went to another college kid that needed it.
I don't know.
It's like Kirby. It turned up, some other kid.
Oh,
I'm here to help you party.
I've got pictures. Oh my gosh, I've got pictures of. Okay, one time we took it to. This is a whole nother thing. This is next level. One of my friends, his dad was he was a millionaire, and he lived on a lake up in near Richmond, Virginia. I don't remember the name of the lake, but it's the lake that they filmed the movie What About Bob on. And the What About Bob house was actually directly across the lake from my friend's dad's house. And once a year, he would allow us to come up for the weekend and have free reign. And he had a tiki bar with kegs, and he had a pontoon boat and sea-doos and ski-doos or not ski-doo, jet skis, and these big bicycles with these big tires. And he had a parasail, and he would take us on that, and he would let us take beer up on the parasail, and then he'd let us pull the harness and drop out like 60 feet down. And anyways, we went up there one time, and his dad had rented a hotel convention room with a couple of his friends, and they threw what's called a pimp and a hooker's ball. A hooker's ball. And what it was where all the men had to dress as pimps and all the women had to dress as hookers, and you had to bring a date. You didn't have to be with that person, but you had to bring a guy had to bring a girl, or a girl had to bring a guy. You had to have a date. You couldn't be alone. And so we went to this thing and dressed as pimps. And I have a picture somewhere of us standing in front of the Pink Cadillac, and we're all in our pimp outfits, and we're in our pimp suits, and we look so good. We were proper. Absolutely proper.
I'm trying to work out what someone said in the comments about Vampire Diaries Uncut. You don't mean me, do you? I'm not a vampire.
Vampire.
I used to get that in school all the time. Apparently I look like a vampire.
No, that's good. You should, you should get a little wild when you're young, because you know what, man, when you're, that's the time to do it. And it's okay. People aren't going to look at you like you're a nutter when you're young, but if you do it when you're older, people are gonna be like, dude, not cool.
That's what I'm worried about. That's why I'm hoping that I'll stay young forever, and then I can just get drunk forever. No,
you're gonna be old fuck soon.
Do you reckon? Oh.
No, that's not the way it works.
No, what if I just manifest that it does work like that?
And then as you get older, time will fly even faster. Like years go by like nothing now. but back when I was younger, it seemed like a year was forever. You know, it was really cool.
Splendid graffiti from Manchester. Awesome.
How many subs are you up to now?
I don't know. We can check. Give me a moment. 12,402.
Nice. Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's not bad. I mean, it's really slowed down this month because obviously I've not been here.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, the money cut off. As soon as I stopped making videos, the money stopped rolling in. So, oops.
Well,
So now I'm back because I have to. You've got me.
You don't work at all, right?
No, this is my job.
Well, that's good. I mean, that way you can focus on it.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, like, it was never meant to be my job. It was a fun thing I was doing in between jobs.
Right.
And then it became like, oh yeah, I'm making money off it. And then when the money went, it was like, oh no, it's a job. So, you know what I mean? Immediately, like, because just who I am as a person, I oppose working on a cellular level. I was like, oh, so I had to battle that mentally. You know, I think, like,
you know, some people, and I've come to understand that some people are not meant to be like a 9 to 5 kind of person, like a person that goes to a job. That some people, they need a different kind of job, and that's why this is probably good for you. And you know what, you can make a living off of it, and you know, depending on how good a living depends on how good of a job you do. So if you put your heart into it and do a good job, you know, it will work. I don't want to do that. I don't really. I just do what I do. I'm not trying to make a living off of it.
I think I'd be happy. I'd be happy if I could convince enough people to overthrow the government. That's when I'd be happy.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Because, you know, we need to change the world. We need to change the way things are done. And, you know, we're never going to be able to do it, but we need to. And I just, you know, I need a few of you guys to rally with me.
You know, 15 years of studying this shit, and I'll tell you what I've come up with. The only way for us to fix what we've done in this world, what the problems that we have, is to go through a societal collapse and to have everything be wiped, have the whole board wiped clean, and then start over. And I think that's the only way we're ever going to fix this. And I know that sounds horrible, and it sounds, oh my God, why would you want? I don't want that, but I think it's the only look. People are not going to put down their lattes and their McDonald's and their, you know, cars to go anywhere, or their.
The thing is, they don't need to though. They actually don't need to. Robotics and stuff and AI, like AI itself, not even necessary. Robotics can solve so much of our problems. In 100 years, we will literally have robotics doing most of our stuff, right? Driving the buses is going to be robotics. Serving your burgers in McDonald's is going to be robotics. Serving your food even in the shops is going to be robots grabbing your food and putting it on. You're just going to be clicking order, and you probably won't even have to drive to it. It'll be delivered to you by robots. And the difference is whether or not the people that own the robots are in control, or whether we all own those robots. And that's the difference, because the way we're currently going, the people that own the companies are going to be the ones that own the robots, and they're going to sack all the workers, and they're going to be like, well, sucks to be you. And that's when there's going to be issues, because literally half the planet is going to have no job, and it's going to be a class war. It's going to be us versus them, but they're going to have the militaries that they've been backing up, the bases that they've been building for the past however many years. They're going to have the upper hand, and we're going to have nothing, and they're going to massacre us, right? That's how it's going to go. So unless we seize control of those robots and mean that they're working for us, the people, then we're screwed. So that's the real battle, is making sure that we are in control of the technology. Because at the end of the day, you've got to think of it. every piece of technology that is created by mankind is the result of all of our hard work. Every single one of us combined, and all the people that came before us. Without the people that came before us, there wouldn't be the stuff that we have now. So the idea of ownage, the idea that one company can say, well, this is ours, we invented this and this is ours, fuck off. No, without all of us and without all of history and every single person who's contributed to that, you wouldn't even have that. So it's going to get to a point whether a company is going to have these robots and say, these are our robots, screw you. Or we can say, well, actually, no, they're our robots. And life's going to be better for us now. And that's where we've got to
go. I think that robots can be helpful, but I also look, when I go to a grocery store and they've got two options, they've got go through the cashier or go through the self-checkout. I always go through the cashier because that self-checkout is taking jobs. Okay. I also want to talk to a human being, a person, because if I have a question or if there's a problem, I want a real person that's living and breathing. I can't talk to that goddamn machine. That machine, if it won't take my dollar bill, who do I talk to? I want a personal experience. I want to deal with somebody who's going to bag my fucking groceries. If I wanted to bag my fucking groceries, I'd go get a job at the grocery store. I don't want to bag my fucking groceries. I want you to bag my groceries. That's
but I'm saying eventually robots will be good enough that they will be able to sort that when you have a question.
I don't want them to. I want somebody to handle my bananas with care. I don't want
grabbing
my bananas.
Don't you think? But don't you think the person that works there handling bananas would be thinking, come on, Beegs, can you just let the robots take my job so I can sit on a beach all day?
Why?
Because that's the point, isn't it? Like we want to enjoy our lives. We don't want to be slaves.
So
and
how are you gonna make money if you can't get a fucking job? You can't sit on the beach.
But that's the point, though. Yeah, no, right. Because you wouldn't need it, right? Imagine if everyone had their own robot, their own their own fabricator, so their own 3D printer that basically makes you anything you want. Your own, your own robot that does whatever. Your own farm in your back garden that's created by a machine.
The movie WALL-E, where everybody sits around their ass and becomes fat, and then they
that was made by Disney. That's made by a man that wants you to be a slave. No, but I'm just saying, in a world where you had everything available to you, imagine the world where everyone was self-sustainable, as in you yourself had a house that had its own tiny little farm outside the group, everything you wanted. Maybe you even had a cellular meat replicator that could literally make you a perfect steak out of nothing, just generates it. At that point, why would you want a job? You have everything you need. You can hang out with your friends all day. You can go do what you want. You can make all the stuff you need at home to have fun. At that point, why would you need a job? You're free. And that surely is the ultimate end goal, is to get to that point where you no longer have to grind. It's like every game, like games today, you have games where you grind to get through level 1, level 2, level 3. You can build wooden houses, and then you get to stone, and then you get to metal, and then eventually you get to the point where machines are doing everything, and you're at the top of the game, and you're just sat there laughing. And that's the point. And society is built to convince you that you always need a job, because without a job, you don't have purpose. What will you do? What will you do if you don't have a job? You go crazy. And that's nuts.
It's not about a job. It's about using your body to physically move, to actually create physically something.
Yeah, but you can do that without a job.
Your labor is actually, look, anytime you're having a problem, working out a problem, go out and work in the yard. Go work. Go do something.
Yeah, but playing football is doing something. Going out with your friends and playing football or playing tennis or swimming, surfing. That's doing stuff. You could go on adventures. You can go hunting for mysteries, rock climbing, anything. Stuff right.
How are you going to afford all this?
No, but who, right? In a world where everything's made for you, it doesn't cost, does it? It doesn't cost to walk up a mountain. No, it's not a world now. I'm saying No, I'm not. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that will be our world in the future. It will be
Yeah,
inevitably,
but
unless
you're
we're
saying
destroyed.
it would
will
be great if we controlled everything and robots ran everything. It would be a wonderful.
No,
beautiful
I'm
world.
I'm
The problem
talking
is that
about.
crazy people called elites run our world and they
Yeah,
control the robots.
yeah.
We
That's
don't
what I'm
have that
saying.
fucking option.
No,
We
no.
have
Yeah,
to get
I'm
rid of the
literally.
elites. We have to destroy what they've created and start over. Now we might be able to build a society that has these wonderful toys, but we're going to
I
have
mean,
to
I
get
wouldn't
rid of the
necessarily
crap.
say you need to destroy everything they created. You just need to take over. You just need to be the
No,
one in
we
charge.
don't have to, but in order to do it, we're going to have to because people are too fucking lazy to get off their ass and fix this. So they're going to have to be destroyed. You're going to have to be torn down to be built back up because nobody is ever going to get off their ass and make a difference. It's not going to happen.
Well, I mean, possibly, yeah. I mean, it's up to interpretation. But I mean, I personally just say that we probably don't have a chance. Let's face it. Look at the militaries. You know, the technology that America has. They could destroy us all. And
In a sense, that's look. Yes, America has great big bombs and great big planes and great big guns and a lot of military. But you know what? They are so easy to take out. It's not even funny. Look, take out the communications and take out the transport systems of the military, and they're toast. You take out the communications, they can't get their orders. You
you've
take
just
out
been added to a fucking list right now. You know, just an FBI agent is like hitting a button, like.
they know this. They know this. Okay?
Right, go on.
If you take out if everybody around the world goes out and sets tires on fire in the road and you can't move the trucks around with the fuel and the ammunition and the food and the water for the military, they can't function. You have to feed an army, you have to arm an army, you have to have water for the army. If you cut off the transportation, the mobility of the consumable products that the military uses, they can't function. Fuck their guns, fuck their bombs, fuck their planes, fuck their big ships. All that's bullshit. You just take out the communications and the transportations and we win. It's easy. Easy.
All right then. Well, I'll trust you in the insurrection to be the general.
They're big and bad on paper. And yes, they have a big bad military, but they are just like anybody. Look, what's going to happen if the trucks stop moving in America? People are going to go hungry because our food comes from other places. We don't grow our food.
Which I think is by design.
Of course it's by design. So they can shut it off like that.
Yeah, 100%. Which is this is what exactly what the point I was saying though about robotics was. If we allow the people in control to continue the way they're going, that technology will be used against us rather than for us.
It's already
well, obviously it's already used. But I'm saying in the future, because people don't understand this. They talk about like, oh, losing jobs to robots. And losing a job to a robot isn't the bad thing. Losing a job to a robot is a good thing. It means that you've managed to break free of a certain job. We've managed to automate a job. That is one less job the human race has to do as a race. The objective is supposed to be where we can reach a state where we don't have to deal with that stuff.
What happened to Joe Blow, who had the job of packing the box that now the robot does? What happened to him? Where is he now?
Well, the point is like when everybody's job's gone, they don't have to work. Like it doesn't. Like why would someone need a job?
About this utopian society in the future.
Well, I mean, it's not right. It's not utopian. What about me? I make YouTube videos. Hey, I make YouTube videos. Like, what the fuck am I contributing? Like, imagine a society where everyone's just making YouTube videos. That's literally it. Like, imagine that's the point. It's a far future, but that's the point of hypothetical. It's okay. You're looking into a world where everybody has a 3D printer that can literally print cellular meat. Like it can print cells, it can print meat, it can print whatever you want. So if you want food, it prints it. If you want a toy, it prints it. And at that point, right? At that point,
you're saying you'd like to go to a restaurant and you'd like to have a robot bring you your food.
I don't really care.
Okay, but would you like that?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it already happens. Have you been to a sushi restaurant? A little conveyor belt brings you your food on a thing.
Well, what about the opportunity to go to a restaurant and have a waitress come to your table, and she's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your whole life, and you start talking to her, and next thing you know, you're married and you have 4 kids.
Well, I mean, yeah, that kind of sucks.
You don't
but
have
then
that opportunity with a robot. You're gonna get it
You
on
know,
with the robot?
you're right, but I mean, at the end, like the point is I'm pretty certain that the person would, like, if I gave my future wife that would have 4 kids with me the choice, would you prefer to meet me, but you have to work as a waitress for like 20 years before, and then we meet and we have 4 kids and you're rescued from it, or would you rather just have a perfect life? She'd probably be like, I'd probably have the perfect life. It'd be like, yeah, you should have the perfect life.
Yeah, but
So,
you
hey,
haven't met her to ask the question because
yeah,
you've got a robot
but, well,
that's
to be
ready
fair,
take.
well, the question you're asking me is pure selfish because it's based on what I would want. So no, you're like what I would want. In fact, is I'd want that waitress to not have to be a waitress. I'd want her to be able to go and live her life and find out what she really wants to be. Like, because that's what I think it is. Like, if you right, fair enough. If she went to like the top of a load of mountains, came back and was like, you know what, I really want to be a waitress. Fair enough. Maybe we should open a restaurant for her so that she can live that dream out. But that's the point, is I think most people are deeper than their jobs, and we've been convinced, we've been tricked, ingrained to think that who we are is who we like, well, what we do for work.
I agree. We shouldn't live to work. That's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
But
I think people
is
will.
important. Work is
Yeah,
very important because it teaches
no,
you things that are very, very important. We need purpose.
I get you,
We don't
but
need to sit in a fucking cubicle, but you know, we need to have, there needs to be jobs available.
I
that
think
we
outdoor
can do.
jobs are important in that, though. You're right, outdoor jobs, because outdoor jobs that involve teamwork and people are way more into those things. Like when it's an actual teamwork based exercise style like thing where you're involved, people really respond well to that stuff. Cubicles, that's stuff that robots will get rid of, thankfully.
And
But
I can agree with that.
But that's the thing, is that the companies don't want that, though, at the moment. They don't want, because they want all their workers in cubicles as your slaves, work, because this is the point. This is how they stay on top. By having money that you are working for, you then have to buy their products, and you give them all your time. You give them your paper time. You're holding your time. This is my life in my hands. I've just turned it into paper. Take it. And they take it and they fucking throw it in a yacht and fucking sniff coke and have fun. And you're working hard and you're thinking, oh yeah, I'm learning life lessons, and they're just like laughing their ass off, like, ha ha. And that's the thing. We've got to change the world. It's fucked. Because
people have got to get to the point where they do what they love to do, not what they do because they want to make $1.
Yes, definitely. People, well, that's the point. And I think people, when they get to, it's like school is a too early age. Like people that a lot of people that do like bad in school or leave school, when they're older, they actually say, oh, kind of like, I think I could do some kind of education now. And it's like, because as we get older, we start to think like, oh, I think I could enjoy learning that now, because it's a choice. It's not something you're forced to do. Whereas school today, it isn't about learning subjects and getting you educated. It's about getting you up to work standard, and it's about getting you ready for the regime, the 9 to 5. So get you used to it, then send you on to college, get you used to it, and then now you've got your college bills, send you on to work, and you just, they want the people that never question. They just keep going.
Is such a fucking ripoff. It's such a scam. Look, college. People don't go to college in order to get a degree so they know how to do a certain thing. Here's the thing: employers, what they want to know is that you can go to a certain place and you can accomplish the task you're told to do in a timely fashion, and you can follow the fucking rules for a certain period of time, and you get a degree that says you can do that. But we call it, a degree in psychology or a degree in, algebra or whatever. Whatever it, they don't care what your degree is in. They most of the time people don't get hired for the job that they go for unless they're like a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. Most of the time they just get a job. Okay.
Well, it's like if you look at historians, for example, right? Somebody that gets a degree in history and then goes to teach history in a school or a university. Okay, they might be a professor, right, or whatever. They are sat there, and what have they done? They've done no, and I mean no, actual research.
Right.
All they've done is they've gone to university. They've learned the books of people that have done research. They've just gone through the books of people that have done research. They've memorized it. They've done a test on it, and then they've gone into a job where they teach exactly that. And it's not even off their own memory. They're given the syllabus. They're given the stuff.
Right.
What you're teaching, right?
They're told what to teach.
Yeah, and that's
change
it, right?
A little bit to kind of morph to their.
Yeah. So I'm not kidding, though. I'm not kidding. Me and you have done more research than official historians because they don't do actual research. Real historians don't go to the records, don't go to the archives, they don't go investigating. They just read what they're told to read. They answer a question, they do the tests, they get an A, boom. Now you're a historian.
Granted,
now you
they
can do
know that stuff really well, but the problem is that it's not organic knowledge. It's just like copy paste.
Yes,
I took
exactly.
it from the book and put it in my mind, and I regurgitate it to you. That's all I've done.
So they do no research. So it's like, for example, simply going into the Library of Congress, like I've done on my videos, searching for whatever you want to search for, that's research, right? That's simple research that you can do. Searching Tartaria on Google, that's research, right? So if you spend the next 2 months, 4 or 5 hours a day researching Tartaria, different sources, finding books, reading those books, old books, going through it, you're doing real research. That's real research. You're actually going to books, reading about it, learning, because you're not getting told it. You're not getting given here's what Tartaria is. You've got to go figure it out. You've got to go find these things, these articles, these books. You've got to read this. Is this real? Figure out which sources are talking nonsense, which ones are real. These historians that are teaching it in colleges have never done that. They've never, ever, ever had to go through that. No. And that's nuts. They've never had to search. They've never had to go and actually investigate. They've never seen the real documents. They've never held a real document in their hands. They've just read it from a book and then answered a questionnaire. And then here's your certificate. Go tell other people.
Now, granted, every now and then they do get a wild hair up their ass and they decide to do an actual research project. And they go and they do it and they come up with this new information. And then they put out a book and they usually get shunned and then fired.
Well, yeah. Well, literally, most of the time, it's as soon as you touch on a topic that the elites don't want, you'll find the media converges on you.
Oh, yeah.
Like Alan Wilson. This is one of the things that goes. Alan Wilson is one of the historians that's done a lot of the work that I'm reading at the moment to do with British history, but it goes obviously into like tribes of Israel, even American history. It's absolutely brilliant. But if you search up Alan Wilson, no matter which book you search, one of the top Google results will be somebody who's claiming to review that book. But when you go on it, it's turning out that they're claiming to review every single book all at once. And it's called, it absolutely slates it. It goes into them being racist and all this. But the point is like as I've been searching for different books from this author, one of the top results is always this article slating them and slandering them and basically making them out to be liars. And it's just it's nuts to think that even Google is obviously allowing that, because it's like, the third or fourth result, no matter which book of theirs you read. And I'm telling you right now, from someone that's interested in this stuff, there is no way on earth the author of these articles read every book. This is about 5,000 pages worth of information. There is no way that this guy read 5,000 pages of books and then sat there and wrote this article saying, no, it's nonsense. He's read 2 pages and gone and written the article. You know what I mean? He's probably not even read a single bit before he's written the article.
One thing they'll do is they'll have their students read it and write a synopsis of it. and they'll read that.
Yeah, well, it's just honestly, it's terrible what they do with history nowadays. I mean, they call it the plus X theory. I remember there's a guy called David Irving, and he's what's considered a Holocaust denier nowadays. He doesn't deny the Holocaust. He just says that it didn't happen how they said it happened. Like, literally just says a few things are different and that they've lied about a few things. But he's considered a Holocaust denier. Now, the weirdest thing about him is that when he first wrote his book, his first ever book was called The Bombing of Dresden. And it was all about Dresden, which nobody knew about, which was when the Allies bombed this city in Germany and killed like 120,000 German civilians in one night. Right, just absolutely flattened the city. 120,000. That's similar to how many died at Hiroshima. So to consider in one night, that is a nuts thing, and nobody knew about it. So he wrote this book, and he became a best-selling author. Right, and everyone was like, "This is amazing," because he went to Germany and he met the Germans, and they told him the stories, and he could speak German because he was working in the. So he wrote this book, everyone loved it, and everyone said, can you do a book about Hitler? Can you do the same thing that you did? Go to the sources. So he went back to Germany, and he started talking to the Germans. Now, the German people started answering his questions because they saw him as the Englishman who had spoken of Dresden. So they thought, right, this guy is going to give us a fair account, because all the other historians just, chat evil shit about them, that they're just the horrible Nazis, etc. So these guys were like, okay, we'll actually talk to you. And they gave him all these notes. And when he wrote his book about Hitler, he took it to his to the publisher, and the publisher wrote through it, the editor, and he said, where's the bit about the Holocaust? And he was like, well, the thing is in Hitler's archives, there was no actual mention of the Holocaust. Like, there's mention of the camps, but there's no mention of the Holocaust, as in the specific doing that. And they were like, well, you have to talk about the Holocaust. It's a Hitler book. And he's like, yeah, but it's not there. So how do I talk about it? And they were like, well, make it up. And he's like, no, I'm not making it up. And they were like, David, make it up. Otherwise, your career is over. And he's like, no, I'm not making it up. And they were like, right, well, we're telling you. And then guess what? Boom. Next thing, the guy is a Holocaust denier. So he went from best-selling historian, author, literally his book is still used today in schools, to talk about the bombing of Dresden. So they will use his book as, for history of bombing of Dresden. But then they'll turn around and say that he is a liar and somebody that's, changed history, and he's a Holocaust denier, and don't trust his other books. But this book they can use and go, oh, it's a great book, this. But fucking don't trust anything else he says. He's a nutcase. Right.
That reminds me of a picture. Have you ever seen that picture of the younger German soldiers and there's I don't know if they were military girls. They were younger, like 20, teenage kind of kids. They were Nazis, and they were in the town that was right outside of Auschwitz. And they took a picture of these kids right after they took back over the area. And these kids are just laughing and having a good time. And the thing about it is that when they were asked about Auschwitz, that they didn't have any idea that was going on there. They literally didn't know. They didn't know anything about it. And that's why they were so happy. They were just happy the war was over. And these, the soldiers are asking, what do you know about these people in this place? And they didn't know anything about it. And they lived right there. And
it's nuts. It's like, there's one picture. If you look up on Google at some point, I think what you want to search is like Holocaust bodies tractor, right? And that'll bring up a picture of a tractor bulldozing bodies into a pit. And obviously it's like, oof, this is horrible. But what you won't realize until you actually look is that it's a British tractor. It's a British bulldozer, or whatever you want to call it. and it's a British soldier driving. They're the ones that are bulldozing these bodies into the giant pits. And
Right. That I actually have that film. I have sometime I acquired a set of the old films that were taken when they went in. I have that. I actually have the films of that.
that's nuts. But yeah, no, it really is. It's mental when you look at stuff like that, because that's used as propaganda, you know, to suggest like, well, look at what the Germans did. But
Well,
in
the way I
reality,
understood it was what they were doing was they were burying the bodies that were there.
yeah,
That because for some reason, and I don't quite understand, they had all these bodies that they were experimenting on. They were just piling up. But
well, this is the thing, right? So this is what doesn't make sense about the whole situation with Auschwitz in particular. If you actually look at where the furnaces were, so obviously they did have crematoriums, but it was a camp. It was a work camp. People did die there, so it's not as horrific as it sounds on the tin, because people did actually die there, and they had three, I think it was, actual crematoriums that could run at once. So they could burn like 3 bodies at once, maybe 6 if you doubled up. But you've got to remember that the way heat works is then it still takes almost twice as amount of time to do it, because there's twice as much content. So it's kind of like it doesn't really make a difference, and you couldn't fit much more in there. And not only that, they were actually below ground, and to get there you needed an elevator, and the elevator could only fit so many people in it at once. So if you actually went into the mathematics of how many people had to be shoveled into these lifts, taken down, and then put into 3 at a time cremating, they would have been cremating for something like 46 years non-stop to get through all these bodies. And the size of the pits that would be necessary to hide all these bodies would have to be multiple football pitches long. You would have seen them from space. But the real reason that a lot of these bodies were there when we got there is because obviously they had these camps, they've got people working there, and we bombed all their train lines. We took out the train lines because obviously that's what you do, you take out all those sections. Yeah. So they lose their ability to move food and medicine to the camps. The camps now have no food and medicine, and typhus is rampant during World War II. Typhus is all over. So if you look at the bodies of those the people getting pushed into the body, they're really skinny. They're emancipated from typhus. They have typhus disease. You can see all the wounds on them from the typhus. And they literally had no help. They had no medication because the train lines weren't running. And the German guards abandoned the camps. They saw, the troops were coming in, and they were like, "Fuck this, we're out of here." And they left. They left all the the people there. And then by the time we turned up, they'd all starved to death, and there was a load of bodies everywhere. So we shoveled them into graves and said, "Look what the Germans did."
Great propaganda.
Yeah, definitely. The thing is, gassings definitely did happen. The chambers were originally delousing chambers for the clothes, for the lice.
Right.
But gassings did happen, but nowhere near on the level that it was made out to be. And in fact, most of the stuff happened on the Eastern Front, where the Russians and the Germans were kind of having their issues. So it's very strange, to be honest. A lot of the stuff that is centered around Auschwitz in particular. I mean, we know that Auschwitz is a reconstruction by the Poles anyway. It was reconstructed in the 70s, I believe.
Mm-hmm. I think that we don't have the answers of what happened there. I think there was more going on than we've even been told. Like, and they've changed things and propagandized everything, and we don't really know what happened. And of course, but then I don't know the whole. And I'm really interested in the Temple Mount issue, and what's going on there. And one thing I keep bringing it up is that if it is correct that the Temple Mount was not where we call the Temple Mount, if it was lower, if it was south of what we call the Temple Mount in the city of David, then that means that the original Temple of Solomon was not in the location that they swear it was. And that means that the Jews can have their temple and the Muslims can have their under the rock all at the same time.
How interesting is this, actually? Well, David Owen Jr. will tell you that Jerusalem was actually Constantinople. So that's where the real Solomon was. But one thing that I've just been learning about is there was actually, there's a place called Bath, you pronounce it properly, in England. And it was, in the old days, it was actually named after a dude called Solomon. Now, if you look into Solomon, he has supposedly had his waterways, the waterways of Solomon. And there's in Bath are the baths of Solomon. And I thought that seems like quite a bit of a coincidence, doesn't it? You know, baths of Solomon.
Yeah. Well, okay, you're saying that he's saying that Constantinople was Jerusalem. Okay, well, what is Constantinople?
Well, Constantinople is in like it's Jerusalem has been changed into Constantinople. It's the original Jerusalem. The Jerusalem we see in Israel today is like a fake that they've put together. I mean, there's multiple people that think that. I mean, have you heard the Jerusalem in Scotland view?
You see, I have trouble with that because I have seen quite a bit of evidence showing that it's very, very probable that the Temple of Solomon was actually located in the city of David, south of what we call the Temple Mount. And I think the Temple Mount is what was called Fort Antonia, and the Fort Antonia was actually the Anunnaki command and control center back in antiquity. I think that actually goes way back. That thing is way fucking old.
So you believe in Anunnaki then?
I think there's a interest. Now, I don't believe it as in like the way exactly that the story was told. I more look at it from an interdimensional aspect.
Well, you know what's really interesting is the ancient British. There's evidence that the ancient British actually had the same gods as Ur. So they were going into one of the mounds for, I want to say King Myrig. And at the same time, somebody was going through the mounds of one of the kings of Ur. I can't remember which one it is right now, but they were doing the same thing. And basically, they found the exact same stuff in the grave. It was like a bull and a goat and a couple of vases, but it was the exact same stuff. And one's in Wales and one is in Iraq.
Right.
So they
were spread out all over because they were mining for gold.
Well, this is the thing. Britain was originally, it was supposed to be tin, but Britain was the center of an advanced metalworking culture, and lots of gold has been found dating back to thousands of years ago.
Have you heard about the guy that was plowing his field, and he had a field where he planted, but then a metal detecting guy went out there and asked if he could metal detect, and they made a deal, if we'll half anything you find, and the guy found this humongous field of gold.
No, I never saw.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, it's absolutely mental when you actually look at it, because so the history supposedly is obviously they used to fight with copper tools, you know, which were a little bit soft.
Did they? I mean, really?
Well, this is what the history says. So
man, I don't think
I'm saying thousands of years ago. So apparently, about 3,500 years ago, they used to fight with copper, right? And somebody figured out how to.
Do you really think people ran at each other with a damn sword and were like, "Oh, fight! Let me fight you! Come on!" I mean, seriously.
Well, maybe. Let's just say hypothetically it's true. This is what's supposed to have happened. People had these copper swords, and then somebody figured out if you add a little bit of tin, you can make bronze. And now your sword is so strong, you can just chop the copper swords in half, and their armor will bend, and you're the winner. So, the Assyrians decided to move to Britain and take over what is basically known as the Tin Kingdom, because we have all these tin mines, and they take over and they make all these mines, and it becomes the center of a mining operation for them to make these really advanced weapons for the time. And that's the story, not the official story. The official story is that nothing happened in Britain before 400 AD, and don't ask any questions.
Yeah.
This is the story that, yeah. No, honestly, it's absolutely ridiculous. They find stuff in Britain, and it's either Viking or Roman.
Right.
They straight away. Like, I shit you not, they could be sat here going, yes, this morning we have discovered a Roman spaceship in a field in Worcester. Evidently Roman. You know, it's absolutely nuts. Like, I'm not kidding. They found these boats that were submerged in a harbor in Humber, I think it was, and they turned around when these are Viking boats, and they didn't even know what age they were, and it turned out that they were 2,000 years older than the Vikings, and they were like, oh. But they still call them Viking boats. And then, you know, there's runic inscriptions found under St. Paul's Cathedral, right? St. Paul's Cathedral is the biggest cathedral in London. Under St. Paul's Cathedral, they found a tablet with a dragon on it, and underneath, in runic inscriptions, in the Colburn alphabet, an alphabet they'll tell you that was forged in the 1800s, and this thing's from like 900 AD. And it says in Colburn alphabet, nobody knew what a dragon looked like, and it's got a dragon on it, and it's supposed to be a reference to a comet that damaged Britain, but they call it Viking runes. As if the Vikings came all the way to London, carved this stone, buried it under St. Paul's Cathedral, and then, you know, in the middle of pillage and raping, just whack a stone under the cathedral. It's absolute nonsense. They'll do anything.
And did you see that under Notre Dame, when they were excavating under there after the fire, that they found 2 bodies that were in lead coffins and they were elongated heads?
No. For real?
Yeah. I was just seeing if I could find some pictures of it.
Well, I was going to say, you know, another interesting thing is that people don't realize is that a lot of the ancient Egyptians seem to have been ginger, right? And I'm not kidding, a lot of them. So you've heard the stories of like Troy. So you've got Agamemnon in Troy and his brother Menelaus, right? So they are actually Egyptians, and the real story is an Egyptian attack on Troy. So what really happened was who Helen in that story is the wife of Tutankhamun. So Tutankhamun died, and the way the system worked in Egypt was whoever was the wife of a pharaoh, she would have all the power of the pharaoh. So whoever married her would essentially become the pharaoh. So Agamemnon, he was this ginger Egyptian, and he wanted to marry her, but she went off with this Greek back to Troy, and they settled in Troy, and the Egyptians amassed a giant fleet and sailed over to go and get her back, which they obviously did. And then Agamemnon took her back to Egypt, where he married her, and his grave is actually in Egypt, and he had ginger hair because, believe it or not, Agamemnon is Ramesses II, which is nuts.
Wow.
Yeah, and if you can see that, like, he's not the only one. There's multiple
you see that?
mummies that have
That's
orange hair.
one of the bodies they found with the elongated head.
You need to show your screen, bro.
Oh, it's not sharing?
No, you dumbass.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There you go. I thought I hit it. It'll show. That's one of the bodies they found. They've cut open the head, and you see the lead coffin.
No way. That head is fucking elongated. Sorry to swear.
This is them underneath down before they got them out. It's weird because there's the 2 coffins. That's them working on the.
But anyway, right. I think I'm gonna have to call this the end. Here's 2.5 hours, and I said I'd only give you an hour, so I've already treated you.
I said, don't be a wanker.
I love you too. But anyway, thank you very much for having me on. And I will have another video for sure. Yeah, definitely, 100%.
I appreciate everybody hanging out with us tonight. We were just kind of welcoming Luke back. He's been under the weather, and he seems like he's feeling a lot better now. And I was trying to give him a way to kind of get his sea legs back. So I hope you're feeling better, Luke. We look forward to seeing you and get back to, doing some work, boy.
Thank you. I'll see you later, guys.
We'll see you soon. Good night.
Say woof again! Say woof again!
I've got one that can see.
It's a mystery! It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle inside an enigma! Don't you get it?
Welcome to the underground.
This is my kung fu, and it is strong.
See you later.